You're listening to the Friendlyjordies podcast. Proudly, it's not really run by, but we do appreciate Patreon donations.
Patreon helps us hire a team of writers, researchers, podcasters, and editors to...
We very much appreciate your support. And
if you'd like to support us more, go to patreon.com and search Friendlyjordies. Anything helps.
Okay.
All
right, play the music.
We'd also like to thank FBI for allowing us to record our podcast in their lovely studios of Sydney. Thank you, FBI.
You don't get another shout out.
All right, welcome everybody to the...
No.
Ah, there it is. We're back from
back
holidays.
in the groove.
A little bit rusty.
Without that music, we always start the podcast with this kind of voice. This is the thing that makes us feel ourselves.
Yeah, we really feel like we're in a podcast by doing that little opening bit there. And I really do feel like we're podcasting now. So that's nice.
Yeah, Robbie, really don't edit any of the beginning of that. That is going to be our official podcast call out to get you to subscribe and donate to Patreon from now on. Yeah. It's going to be that. It looks like a 4-minute intro of us blindly stumbling around trying to figure out a way to tell you to donate.
Yeah.
It took a very long time to do that. We all had a crack. No one really got the message across because we're trying to just get the voice right.
Yeah, we went into that with blank minds, didn't we? There was no script there.
But also, if you'd like to support Patreon, go to Patreon and you'll be able to hear a little bit of Robbie flashing his penis to us at the end of the last Christmas edition, which we didn't end up releasing that
specifically for that, just for you, essentially for $6 is the reason why you don't get to hear that.
Yeah. Well, it's not like we're restricting it from you. It's more like we don't give the Patreon people enough, so we need to give them something. So that's what they're going to get. So
Robbie's cock. Audio edition.
Yeah.
They won't get to see it. They'll just get to hear what happens. And as somebody who was in the room, it was shocking. Not just the flash. No one was expecting that. But what happened afterwards? Really, it was a crescendo moment, followed by a double crescendo, I believe it's called in classical music, but I've never done it as a subject, so I don't know.
I don't think anyone knows.
No, I don't know either.
I don't think there's a version of it.
But you'll only find out if you listen. So, everyone's back from holidays. Did you have a fun holiday?
Yeah, we're going to start things off now by just debriefing. And, the first segment is, how was your holiday? And / did you see Star Wars? So, guys, both of those.
Just to get it out of the way, because everybody has to talk about this when they see it. After Christmas, so beforehand, we all know that the office chat is going to be, got good plans for Christmas? Good plans for Christmas? Everyone kind of forgets the whole New Year's Eve, might talk about that a bit. But then when they come back, how was your holidays?
Yeah.
In general, everybody gets more inclusive religiously afterwards for some reason.
Yeah.
But beforehand, it's still, Merry Christmas, right? You got that?
Yeah. You have to remember what their Christmas plans were because you can't get back and ask, how was your Christmas? Because you should know a little bit of information about what they were doing.
So you become much more specific. It is the conversational version of sending an electoral letter that starts off with, Dear Sir / Madam.
Yeah, you have to be like, how was Queensland, right? That was where you went, right? And then they'll be like, no, it was Victoria, but yeah, it was good. It's that kind of chat.
Yeah, why is everyone's mental Rolodex really messy after that? I don't know why no one ever files that properly.
So, Jordan, I believe you were in Tasmania over
the
holiday period.
How was it?
Well, to quote every 40-year-old woman ever, it was spectacular.
Such an underrated state. I love Tasmania.
I have not been there, but
You heard good things, Robbie?
I've only heard great things about it.
That's great.
And I intend to go.
Was the food nice?
Oh, it really, like, if you're in the mood for oysters, then look no further than Tasmania. So if you're, say, somebody with a private jet like Clive Palmer, that's all you need to go to, right? But if you're there, definitely have one of those. What else could I recommend from it? Go to Cradle Mountain, for sure. The thing that I loved about Cradle Mountain, I've got to say, it is so native there that you forget that the grasslands don't necessarily have to be that nice. It doesn't have to be just a huge lawn with the farmer essentially being Dennis the Menace's moody neighbour that's always being like, get off it, to any dingo that comes near and shoots at it.
But there's no humans around anywhere near it.
Well, I mean, there is, because it's just crowded with tourists, but the thing is that it's you know, acres and acres of blossoming flowers, native flowers, and the version of cows, which is what you're used to seeing in paddocks all the time, is wombats. You forget that cows don't come from Australia. It's something that you don't really think about because you just get so accustomed to it while driving along, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, their version of sheep is echidnas. So that is about as abundant as when you see cows and sheep in the wilderness.
So you saw heaps of echidnas?
Oh, tons.
Really?
More that were dead.
Really?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
roadkill?
Apparently you can't go 12 kilometres in Tasmania without seeing something squish. And every single time, for about maybe a day, the woman in the car will always be going, oh no. But it's so abundant after that they basically just become a truck driver of just going like, well, you know, there's plenty more.
Did you try any roadkill? Is that an option? I know
that is an option, but no.
You sick bastard.
Well, I mean,
What?
no, I thought that.
Have you been curious? I've been curious about it before.
To eat
eating
roadkill.
I'm not going to do that.
Like, if it's an option at a restaurant, potentially, it's like sort of that that shit coffee you can get, you know, with a otter or something eats the coffee bean and then shits it out, and then you make
an otter,
possum, if I'm not mistaken.
Whatever it is,
an otter.
I don't know.
What
or as they're
exercise
known,
that would be
land otters.
yeah, possums.
Anyway, it's not like that. But did you have any interesting ways of having your oysters, like with tomato, or was it just all raw?
What's the thing that sounds like eggs Benedict? It doesn't at all, but that thing where you put it in cheese and bacon, my
Fondue?
girlfriend assured me it was great. It's not.
An omelette?
Just have it raw.
That was
Everyone
like
that's always
tempura?
going, it tastes like snot. Why would you turn an oyster into essentially the stuffed crust pizza at Pizza Hut? Why would you do that?
We actually had a similar experience in Japan. They've got this new McDonald's burger out, which is it's like a deep fried patty of a kind of mayo and one little tiny prawn shrimp thing, and covered in sort of this barbecue sauce. And
it's so scarce in the patty that it feels as though it's not meant to be there, the little shrimp. So it's like my shrimp, for instance, was just resting on the side of the patty. So the whole patty is like this weird cheesy
massive
mush, but then there's a little tiny shrimp in it. Like it's sickening. Like I hated it.
I ate your other one.
I was dared to eat it, so I was forced into eating it, like because of other reasons. But then Robbie just voluntarily ate too. But yeah, it's a Japan only thing, I think, at McDonald's.
So you love that shrimp in the centre?
I'm not going to have it again, but I thought it was okay, you know.
But you thought that it deserved a second go.
Yeah. I mean, again, you're only there once, right? You've really got to give these things a good go.
Try it once.
Well,
having it twice indicates that you thought it was great initially and then changed your mind on the second go.
I felt pretty putrid immediately after, but you know.
I love McDonald's.
Oh, so you had that classic Fry goes to the Slurms factory going, oh my God, and then goes for another sip.
I guess that what happened in your mind. I suppose I did, yeah.
You know how much...
Is this on 2 consecutive McDonald's occasions?
No, one. We were getting on a train, and one sitting.
Like, that's a feat in itself to have 2 burgers at McDonald's plus a meal. But it was 2 awful burgers. I was quite impressed.
It sort of had that initial nice McDonald's taste.
Only in Australia is that a feat. In Japan, that would be seen as most dishonourably gluttonous. And in America, that'd just be, well, why, that only half a meal. We get 4 burgers. Only here, everyone's like, oh, you get 2 burgers. Nice. Nice. What about in New Zealand?
It'd be the same as Australia, probably. Yeah.
Okay, so in 2 places in the world, it's fine.
That's funny how you say, you know, you're only in Japan once, so you have to do it. Because, like, I was walking past a time zone the other day going to the movies, And you kind of realise that you'd never go into a time zone in Australia. So why is it when you're in Japan? Like, it's the same games that you're going to play. So Dance Dance.
No. We found that out. That's not true at all.
But we played Dance Dance Revolution a lot, right?
We did.
That's in Australia everywhere.
Fair enough.
I don't know why we went bowling. We can go 10.
I didn't want to go bowling.
I didn't either.
But I did get 5 strikes in a row.
He did actually.
I've got a photo of it. That is insanity. Have you ever heard of anybody doing that, John?
So it's professional bowlers.
But my cousin is slightly autistic. And his primary thing's Egypt, but his second thing is bowling.
Really? So he's a pro bowler.
It's so weird because he's terrible at every other sport. He is essentially a human muscle, as in the shellfish muscle. He is that. Okay, for instance, we're playing backyard cricket, as you do in every single Australian Christmas. But even our nieces that are 12 and 13 respectively smashed him. But for some reason he can score near perfect 300 games.
Oh my god. Does he have a glove?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How does he?
He's got a glove. But it's a rubber glove because he's scared of the germs.
Right, okay.
Like a cleaning glove or like a special...
Yeah, this is a cleaning glove. Actually?
Yeah, he wiped out the glove. He wiped out the bowling glove. So it's not like Kleenex. You can't just wipe it down with a glove unless you were essentially a modern-day version of believing in voodoo magic. You would definitely need something paper to rub it down with. But he uses, sometimes, a kitchen glove.
Wow, okay.
How does he
But
celebrate?
on top of that, what I've got to say, though, is no, it's still impressive. Your 5 strikes is impressive, Robbie.
Thank you very much.
It was impressive.
It was genuinely surprising.
Because it's the way Robbie does sports that we've kind of worked out over this trip. So we go playing darts, and he just, instead of kind of finessing, like being finessingly, what is it? I
suppose so.
It's like throwing...
No time to look up the dictionary, just get on with it.
Throwing like darts at the board. He just he'll peg the dart at the board. In the same way he goes bowling, like he'll just kind of line up and then just go from 1 to 100 in like a second, and then just throw the ball as hard as he possibly can, to the point that he'll fall over. Every time he bowls, his technique is he'll literally just fall on the ground.
Hey,
are you trying to win? Is there any thought in your mind of competition?
I put the numbers on the board. So.
Yeah, but it was insane because he'd do this. He'd just run and fall
that
over
is just
and
like
strike.
When you put a guinea pig on top of a Game Boy and sometimes they win. There's no technique to
That's
that.
why it was so amazing. It was, the odds must have been 1 in millions, right?
Yes,
just this insane technique, and it just happened every time, like 5 in a row. Just strike.
It was ridiculous, and it was fun.
He got over 200 points.
Yeah,
I think.
Got a photo.
Wow, that is impressive. I've never heard of somebody who doesn't have autism getting 200 points.
Yeah, like my auntie is a avid bowling enthusiast, and she was like always we'd get into arguments that she'd claim that getting a perfect game in bowling is harder than getting like a hole-in-one in golf, because just you have to go perfect 10 times in a row. It's really, really, the odds are so stacked against you.
Wow.
So you got half a perfect game.
That's amazing, isn't it? Anyway, I was just curious about your cousin. How does he celebrate his endless strikes? Does he sort of just like stoically walk back, or does he have a sort of ritual?
Sometimes it's actually great. First of all, you don't feel like you have a need to compete with them. It's sort of the same feeling that when I saw an autistic guy versing a normal mathematician when they were just quizzing them with really difficult mathematical problems and seeing how quickly the Asperger guy could get it. And then the other maths guy was just going that, like, carry the 1 and it is, it's 75 is right. And even when he does his victory dance, which is to very weakly clap his clammy hands together going back, going, yeah. He gets back to the table. It's great. I love it. I'm always just like, John, you deserve some of my chips. They're shit anyway. They always are at a bowling alley.
Sorry, just on a side note, what do you reckon about those loaded fries? The McDonald's loaded fries.
What's that? The flavour pack?
It's got those cheese. It's dipped in the cheese.
What I was saying to my friend the other day, who all we ever talk about is food because he's a chef, and frankly, I've got to see less of that guy.
Why? That sounds fine, right? What?
There's no way that led to
Shut
that.
up about that. It's not that good of a topic. Food. Yeah.
That is such a popular topic amongst tipsters as well. Why is food this great? It's for people that just don't talk about things.
Anything.
It's always food as the go-to thing. Have
It's
you been to
so
the new
sad.
cafe in Burke Street or like whatever it is?
It's always people that are
Yeah.
extremely can get offended extremely easily. Talk about food a lot.
Yeah, there's no offense.
Every time I'm ever in a double date or a triple date with my girlfriend and I don't know the boyfriends, I'm always talking about Nutella and Vegemite.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is nothing
Oh
worse
my
than
God.
directions or food that you haven't eaten, like hearing about
Yeah.
it.
They think a
'Cause
fine
there's
debate
no-
would be debating about whether, mushrooms are okay to eat or not.
Right.
Like, that's the offence. I can't believe you don't eat mushrooms. It's that kind of offence.
Right.
Just, yeah. So look, Tom's shaking of his head says it all, right? He's talked about it for 15 seconds. Man, imagine hour-long conversations about that until finally he's going, well, I've got to go see my hairdresser now. No. Just end this madness.
This madness of a friendship.
But what we were saying before, though, is that they have got to have the best food photographers on the planet, surely, to take photos of those chips with the dip on top of it, with the guac and the cheese and bacon bits. And it still looks so synthetic. It looks like something that Barbie and Ken would be eating.
Yeah, true.
Think about that. They made the Big Mac look good, right? And then every time you get out the Big Mac, and there's always just this little. I guess the best way to describe it is it's not a CD-ROM size of a patty, is it? It is a mini disc at best.
Yeah.
Right? But still, that looks too putrid to even touch for me. So those are my thoughts on McDonald's new French fries ranges. What are your guys' thoughts?
I reckon they got them from those, those British backpackers that will go to those. There's an Indian place across the road from us that also serves chips, and they'll order hot chips with vindaloo sauce on it. So instead of getting barbecue sauce or gravy, it's got to the point where it's buttered chicken, and now it's vindaloo spicy sauce. So I reckon it's the same kind of people. They'll be like,
Okay, just for everybody out there, I'm coming out with a video recently that Tom had nothing to do with.
What?
He never does. But essentially, I made exactly the same observation, and I'm just putting that on the record now.
Oh,
This was not a version of, I don't know, say Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. This is a version of Ants in a Bug's Life. It was just pure coincidence that happened. But it is exactly the same observation.
what, the vindaloo thing?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Cool.
So, Robbie, what are your thoughts
Why do you
on
bring
the
it up?
chips?
What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I tried the guacamole one, and it was okay. I went to Lord of the Fries, which does...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have you tried that?
No, but
okay.
I know of it.
Anyway, look, we don't have to go on about this. Like, food chat is
Did you
pretty-
see Star Wars?
Oh, yeah. I did, actually. I did see that. And, big screen. And, yeah, no, I thought it was... what a feast. Yeah, no, really good. I very much enjoyed it. I think it's almost a perfect film. What do you reckon, Jordan?
Holy...
That's a big
Okay, so you're
claim.
going to give that a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh,
if
shit,
that's
sorry,
your
no.
perfect.
Yeah, sorry. 6.
7.
Did you see it, Jordan?
A wild claim. A really mild reality. Yes, I did, and I've got to say, highly forgettable.
Yeah,
would
true,
be the thing that I would put at the top of that. If I was a film critic and anybody gave a crap about my opinion to put at the top of that, would they even... there's no way that you would need to put a well-known film critic's review at the top of Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't sully it with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too big, isn't it? It's like it's taken that mantle where it doesn't even matter what you think about it. You kind of have to see it just purely because of the scale of its success.
It wouldn't sell me at all if I saw that in the video store, should they exist anymore, which oddly in Tasmania, another reason why I should go, they've still got video stores. They're great.
No way. Oh, cool.
So that
Still got a lot
say-
of things from the 90s there, like Time Zone, for instance. Where was the last time you saw a Time Zone in Sydney?
Yeah. Well,
The closest thing
the
is
other
you just
day.
get like a timeout chocolate bar. Oh, did
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
My mistake. Wasn't paying attention at all to what you were speaking.
Where were you,
obviously.
mate?
You're 2 feet from me.
And I've got your voice ringing into my ears, still not paying attention.
Yeah, well, I thought, it's just a thing you have to see. You have to see it. It was all right. Yeah, I kind of agree. kind of forgettable.
And also, just a
Leo
crapper
shit.
version of here we go, that same conversation that we all had in 2004 when Star Wars Episode 1 came out and go, but Star Wars Episode 4 was the first one, surely that should be number 1.
Yeah.
But that it was exactly the same as Episode 4, wasn't it?
Well, everyone is kind of saying, ranking it now like number 5, now this one, and then all the rest, because all the rest are crap.
Right.
It's just, I find this whole Star Wars franchise quite annoying. But it's impressive, though, that it's just, so George Lucas sells to Disney, Lucasfilms for like $6 billion or something, gets half of it in
he
cash.
sells Disney Ocean's 14. What a grand heist story. George Lucas selling Disney to someone else is like, got to be the greatest Ponzi scheme ever. You're like, he makes good movies, but geez, what a criminal genius.
He bought us somehow. We have to buy ourselves back.
Walking into the CEO with a briefcase going, I think that you can cancel your 12 o'clock for this. You're going to find this extremely interesting. Click, click.
Well, he's the highest shareholder in Disney now, George Lucas. He owns 2% of Disney.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
a lot?
not an impressive
Yeah, I know.
statistic at all.
No, but it's impressive that's the largest.
That's the highest stakeholder, is 2%. Yeah.
That's insane.
But so he sold it for $6 billion, something like that. Got half of it in cash and the other half in Disney shares. And as soon as he sold it, the price of Disney just plummeted, so he lost heaps of money. But when J.J. Abrams got put on to direct Star Wars, the price then surged and he made $800 million more than he did for his original purchase.
Smart man.
Smart businessman.
Smart man. Good on you, George.
Easy.
6 and
So you
7
reckon
billion.
you could just walk into any accountant, any stockbroker on the planet, even ones that are at the top of a pizza chain that nobody cares about, and just have their office there, constantly coughing into phlegm, and they'd be like, yeah, just do it all in shares, it'll eventually work out. It's probably not his idea.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a team of lawyers that are very,
Adept.
there. Yeah, and he's still,
Nonetheless, genius.
yeah. Apparently, he hates the new Star Wars as well.
Yeah,
Awesome. Did he walk out? I love hearing that the creator of a movie is in such a disarray that they get up halfway through.
Yeah,
It's always great to hear that.
Yeah, someone made a fake Twitter account called Grumpy George Lucas, and the description is, I might have sold Star Wars to Disney, but I didn't sell my right to complain about it.
Yeah, I've loved the memes post that film, actually. They've been great. You know, that loyal stormtrooper?
Yeah, the one that pulls the baton out. Yeah.
It's like, there have been like articles written about it being like, it's got a name.
Yeah, they've changed its name to Trait R, TR8-R. Because he pulls the baton out and goes, traitor, and then starts fighting the dude with the lightsaber. So they've named it.
Memes or the movie?
The meme has named him traitor.
Oh, that's brilliant.
TR8R.
So, guys, I know you've been skirting around this, but we've got to know. Who liked Japan more? To bring everybody else up to speed, these boys went to Japan, and I get to decide, out of the two of them, they're going to both tell me a different story, an anecdote, if you will, radio staple classic, and then even more classic than that, whoever loses has to drink soy sauce, and whoever loses is the person that liked it more.
Okay.
So, essentially, you got to tell me your worst experience of Japan.
Okay.
But all in all, though, you both thought it was great, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just as a qualifier, this is not against Japan at all, but if you had to nitpick, how would you do it?
Okay. Worst experience.
Well, my worst experience was we went to this sort of the technology district. I can't remember the name of it, but there are a lot of porn stores around there, and there was this odd sort of cafe called Maid Dreamin', and it's where the maids are the waitresses, and they call you master, and I think it's like a children's place, but it's got this weird sort of fetish vibe to it.
Oh, yeah. One of our editors was talking about it. And we have so many that I just can't remember his name.
Yeah, Connor.
That's true. Okay, yeah, it's Connor. Great guy.
Yeah, so anyway, we've had a long day of perusing the shops, and we're feeling a bit tired. And
Pornography stores, mainly.
Right, mainly. And so we're feeling very warped by this stage. And we go in. They've got very high-pitched voices, very intense. It's got a very thick cheese smell in the air, very hot, extremely hot. And we get sat down, and we get the water and drinks and things, and we have to like do different kind of rituals, and they're like, okay, you stop, you have to put your hands like this, don't go 3, 2, 1, magic, ooh, like that. You have to put your hands like that
For a photo?
no, to like bless the food
drink, the
with
shitty
the magic. Yeah, with the magic. Anyway, so that was very weird.
Sounds really fun.
It was fun. I liked that.
That was fun. Okay, that was a good bit. But
Sounds like you love Japan.
I loved that bit. Okay, I did enjoy that. Next to us, though, was a... all right, he was by himself, and he was very hunched over, wearing this oversized suit, very small man, very curious man. He was twitching quite a lot, and he's making me extremely uncomfortable, because he was just checking out children around the store, and it was very, very quite scary, actually. And it seemed as if he was like sort of jittering quite a lot, as if he was kind of relieving himself in some way.
Oh, for God's sake. You've nuked this segment.
Yeah, that can't
There's
go in
no
this
way that Tom could hate Japan more than this.
Okay, keep in mind, while this is
In a public image perspective, surely there is no way that you can hate Japan more than viewing a pedophile.
Let's keep in mind,
action.
maybe I was sitting right next to the guy. Like, I was like a foot away from him. So
double nuke!
like, if he...
The same city twice.
Like, if he just freaked
Hiroshima
out...
times 2.
Which was a great city, by the way, Hiroshima.
it was very beautiful, very peaceful.
Yeah.
Really came back from that awful tragedy.
Yeah,
it did. But that museum was horrific. Good Christ.
terrible.
Well, anyway,
Sorry.
So back to the pedophile and the weird maids calling you masters in the air, the hot air stinking of cheese. Like it was boiling in there. I really just need to make that very clear. Anyway, and also we could see, so while this pedo was going on, there was boxing on the TVs around, and we had to wear these like bunny ears, and it was just a very surreal experience. And also there were other people in the store that wanted to have photos with the maids, and there was an area where you could go and do that. but there was sort of like these teenage guys, kind of maybe a little bit older, but they were all like, they all willingly did it, but they were so extremely uncomfortable to be doing the photos.
Yeah.
Like it was really odd to watch how nervous they were.
Like,
they were
to the point of
squirming.
shaking.
Yeah,
So
like one of them
weird.
was shaking, just taking the photo with the maid.
Well, because the maids were so unbelievably hot.
They weren't, but yeah, that's the idea though. They're like, can we get a photo with you? Or like whatever they are asking, and then they're like, yeah, come up. And then they've asked to do this, and then they just stand there like quivering with fear. So they're like, because they're meant to kneel down together with one of the maids and get a photo, and the maid's trying to get them a bit closer, because it's like you have to fit in the photo frame. You have to be close enough for that.
Wow. It's like it's like the title of Japan, much like Thailand's is Thailand, a land of 1,000 smiles. There's just a land of 1,000 jitters.
Yeah.
Just extremely nervous people throughout life, aren't they?
Super shy, but super friendly and nice. It's just like, it's like children, kind of. It's very weird.
It is very weird. And
Very nice, though.
yeah, very nice. And then, so while that's going on, so there's the pedo, these very nervous people taking photos, there's boxing and sort of violence on every screen. And then I turn to my left, and you can just see these guys get out these big assault rifles and just like hand them over to their mate, and this pistol, and they give it to maids, and they want to take photos with them. And by this stage, like, just picture it, right? You're just enveloped with this really weird hot cheese vibe, cheesy stank, weird porn area vibe. And these guns are out, and it was just the most uncomfortable, sick feeling I've ever had.
You know how Robbie gets around the thought of mass shootings? We're sitting in a restaurant full of people, and a guy pulls out an assault rifle. It was pretty shocking.
It really was.
So that's why.
And the maid was just having a bit of a laugh with it. Like, she was sort of moving it around,
Pretending to shoot with it. It was a
pretending
toy.
to-
It was a toy.
Yeah, but like, she didn't know that before she fired the first shot, and it was basically aimed at me. Was the pistol?
Whatever.
This is too fantastical now.
They did pull the
I
guns out.
believe all of it up until right at me.
Yeah, she had
Right
it
at
on my
me.
head, man.
Well,
She didn't
all right.
know, because
Sort of
she could have
close to
been
me.
real.
Close to me. Anyway, but what do
It
you
was on
reckon?
the other side of the room. I was there. You can't tell me a story.
Okay, so we had a drink, and then we got cheese nuggets. Okay, so deep fried cheese is then what we ate, and that topped it off. And then we left from there. But just can you feel the stink from that story? Can you see yourself there?
Yeah, it's very bad.
For some reason, the boxing really disturbs me I suppose it's just in combination to everything else.
Yeah, it was weird.
Because on one TV there was boxing, and then on another TV there was like a children's TV show. So it was just really weird comparisons. Like, who's watching the boxing and who's watching the kids' TV show? What's it for?
That is amazing. That this place is literally something for everyone.
Yeah, for all ages.
That someone actually has conceived what that is, and that is pure insanity.
Yeah. It was insane. There were kids there, but they didn't look like they were having fun. It looked like their parents had dragged them to Maid Dreamin' for like lunch.
Easily, yeah.
Even though it's something for everyone, I didn't say you were going to enjoy it. It's just what you wanted, right?
Yeah, so I don't think I can really compete with that. But yeah, my worst experience was probably when we were skiing. It's just, the queues are crazy because there was no snow really for the first couple of days. So everyone books these holidays like a year in advance, and then they'll go out to the snow. And if there's no snow, why are you at this snow town for a week? You can't do anything. And there's one mountain, pretty much, or a couple of mountains that were the only ones that had any snow on it. So the queues were just insane. It's like going to like a theme park and the queues being terrible. And the chairlifts close at like 4 p.m, so everyone lines up to get these gondola things down to the bottom of the mountain, and we were there until the very last minute, and this like kind of like blizzardy, like just really like heavy snow, like so cold, just waiting in this queue. Like it felt like we were just like refugees, just like waiting. Like it was just awful. Skis are so heavy, bruises on like ankles, just like awful.
So the choice comes down to a carnival nightmare, which is very abstract.
Yeah.
An extremely Salvador Dali bad experience. As opposed to what it would be like to be a Syrian refugee in Antarctica.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
It is.
Which one would you prefer? Can you guys help me out? Who do you honestly think won that? Are you going to be so biased as to go down the line and say that yours is the winner?
Well, I just think like the Maid Dreamin' was a really weird experience, but it was uncomfortable, but not physically uncomfortable. Like it was hot, I suppose, but at least we had heating. Like the other one was literally just standing on the top of a blizzard mountain in a huge queue of Japanese people, where it's just like not moving. We're just slowly just like shifting around in these boots that are making us like really sore. Like you can't walk in them.
Oh yeah, on second thoughts, Japanese gulag.
Like it was just
that cost money for you to go to as well, if that's the experience.
It's so weird that people
just
want to do
it. It was like, this isn't a snow trip, this is a gulag experience adventure.
I don't know why people do it. Like we kept talking about that. It was just this complaint the whole time, just like why do you bother? Like it's just all this
the snow sports
gear.
in general. Yeah, I know, it's crazy the amount of effort. Like it's ridiculous to me.
Okay,
anyway,
so Robbie has just agreed that Tom's is clearly the worst option. Meaning that
love Japan.
Robbie likes Japan more. Down the soy sauce.
There's a cup of soy sauce.
Oh,
it's really just like half a shot of soy sauce. It's not too bad.
Okay, all right.
You got champagne showers ready?
3.
I'd actually hate this. Oh, it's quite a bit, isn't it? Oh,
geez.
Oh my god!
It's not soy sauce. No, it isn't.
It's squid ink.
Oh Jesus, that's actually rough.
Wow. That was even more underwhelming than what we were anticipating. Thank God that's not the end result that we were going to put. We were actually going to put that at the end of the show. Really glad we didn't.
So what's the next segment, Robbie?
The next segment is, hey guys, get excited. Dare we appreciate?
Fantastic. It's back, everybody, in a slightly different form. This is new tradition because everyone was complaining about it always being Dare We Smile and saying that the format was getting repetitive. So we did what all good networks do and just alter it slightly.
Yeah. So this week, the way Dare We Appreciate works is we each say a song that is something that we think is underappreciated that we actually really like. And if you say something which is appreciated, you lose. If you say something where it's like, hey, yeah, you're right, that should be more appreciated, you win.
The new angle as well is that Tom has pointed out a really good whole point in this game, which is what is essentially fun about this is the exact opposite of every other game, where every other game debating whether or not you won, whether you gained points in Monopoly. No, you can't put on a red house yet. You've only got 3 houses there. You can't just buy the house and go to the red house. You've got to buy the house, go around a turn, and then put on the red house. That's always the worst part. In this game, debating is the best part because it is purely subjective. It is the most postmodern game that has ever been conceived. Tom hates that. So,
and because I hate it, I feel as though I get ganged up on, and then I just by default will lose the game before we even begin.
So we've made it even more subjective with there being no point storage system. We've always walked in and out of keeping and maintaining a solemn keep to what the point scoring system is. Sometimes for some reason, even though that minus 10,000 does exist in some versions of this game, we've sometimes just given minus 100,000 because we hated it that much. So we've just decided to get rid of the rule altogether. Much like what they should do with the Olympics, just allow everyone to take as many steroids as possible. It's that sort of thing.
Yeah. Interesting debate topic, actually. We could talk about. Anyway, all right, Robbie, what's your song?
Oh, you want to start with me?
Yeah, sure. Oh, well, yeah, yes,
Robbie, play your song.
Okay, this is my song for Dare We Appreciate.
There go, damn, shorty look good, and I'm thinking about getting at her. Okay, time to whistle at her. Hey, girl, you make my world.
I've always liked this song.
There go, bring it here, baby.
Yeah,
There go,
yeah,
bring it here,
baby.
Top down, and I'm at it again. It's hot.
What do you reckon?
yeah. I love it.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Is that
I'm swaying a
underappreciated?
lot to it. I've never really appreciated that song ever.
Have
Oh, so
heard it
you
before?
appreciate it now, though.
I mean, I've heard it in the background in parties, but because
Who is it?
70% of the girls there didn't go when it was on, I didn't appreciate it.
It's Jules Santana with "There It Go," the whistle song.
There
I
It Go.
remember,
The classic.
That was a huge one. That was a
Yeah.
huge one in New Zealand.
So you love
really
that?
second biggest lyrical poet to Bob Dylan. Who was it again? Jules.
Jules Santana.
Jules
Yeah. Anyway,
Awesome.
what do you reckon? Good?
Yeah, sure. Why
Okay.
not? Who cares? Why not?
How many points do you give it in terms of appreciation? I give it 2 points plus.
Yeah, right. I'll give it 4 points.
Cheers, mate. That's good.
6 points is an alright score.
Okay.
You should be proud of that, Robbie.
Thank you. All right, shall we have Tom's now?
Yeah, sure. Can I set it up at all, or just play it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So this is a song. Actually, just play it. It speaks for itself.
Roses of yellow and red made her so tired she had to stay in bed. I just
That's enough. I don't
All
appreciate this at all.
Take your
It's not
blows.
even-
Come on. Let's hear it. What's your problem?
That was 65 Roses, in brackets, cystic fibrosis, by the Wolverines.
Why did they put it cystic
because,
fibrosis?
right, it's a song about a little girl who has cystic fibrosis.
No,
and when,
don't get your pity points.
And when the doctor comes to tell her she has cystic fibrosis, she hears 65 roses, and it's too sad to tell her the truth. So they say, she keeps asking, when am I going to get my 65 roses? You know, it's really
And
sad.
then she dies, or what?
She dies, yeah. And she
Oh,
never
wow.
got her 65 roses.
Okay, so we're going to completely disqualify pity points for this because that was obviously a strategy.
You're a
And
monster if you don't give me something, all right?
Oh,
it's the
come
Wolverines. It's cystic fibrosis.
You are the Martin O'Malley of the three of us. You clearly are.
See,
I'm
that's how the
Hillary
game works.
Clinton. Robbie's the Bernie Sanders, principled, stoic, consistent. I will change and appeal to the audience on a dime, and you go for the lowest common denominator, touchy-feely, wish-wash crap.
Oh, my lord.
You have, yeah, you've been called out.
Points.
Points for that catchphrase,
least there's three.
100.
Come on.
Easily.
Yeah, Robbie's on
So it's
106.
on 106 now because he's got a great catchphrase.
Give me 65 points.
All right. But none of them are pity points. You just because it's a good connection to the song, you get 65 points.
Okay, there you go. That's it.
Thank you.
There's no competition in this at all.
All right,
This
Jordan.
isn't a game. It's a farce.
I'm just trying to highlight how farcical this bullshit game is.
Oh,
All right.
cut
Bleep
that out.
him out.
Cut that out.
Get
All right,
him
this
out.
is Jordan's
Way
pick.
to kill
for-
the mood, Tom.
Let's hear yours, Jordan.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Jordan, you want to set this up? Shall I just roll it?
No, it speaks for itself.
With you, I can let my head down. I can say anything crazy. No, you catch me right before I hit the ground.
Is this Hillary Duff?
Nothing but a tease.
No.
No, it's not Hillary Duff, you dunce.
What?
Finally says
It's come out. Oh, this bloody garbage out. Big
Gotta
fan
be
of
the
Duff.
clickbait quote of the pod. Picture of us just giggling in our chairs with the quote at the bottom. That's right, you're a dunce.
No, it's not Hillary Duff, you dunce.
Oh my gosh.
Well, who is it?
That's Jessica
Don't you
Simpson.
know?
Oh, okay.
With you.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
totally
Okay.
underappreciated in the sense that the best girly songs always make you feel like a girl, right?
Right, yeah.
I felt like a really hot chick listening to that, and it feels great.
It's hard. I've never heard these songs. I've heard the whistle song, but
I haven't actually heard that one either, Jordan.
Whatever you do, you have to give it two categories as well. You have to, one, rate the chorus of it, how nice it makes you feel, fluttery if you will, and you also have to rate the guitar slide at the beginning, that real country and western when it goes into the chorus. You have to give that points by itself,
Yeah.
surely.
All right, I'll give you. How many points do you want?
How many points?
Oh,
We're not
my
doing
God.
this.
You
Tom.
name it. Name
All
it.
right. Do you want to just... Should we just give this up now, shall we?
No, we're going to the
How
next
about a
one.
million points? I'll give you 20 points. 20
Okay,
points.
I'll take
20
that.
points.
No, 20 points. No, I'll give you 66 points. There you go. You win.
You think it's better than you condescending prick?
There you go. Have your game. You win, mate.
I only got 6 points, didn't I?
you
got 106 points, so you are actually winning at the moment. Let's go to the next. what's this? What's the deal we appreciate?
Oh,
Second
now
round?
it's like an idea or a thing or whatever.
yes.
Okay.
So mine, for instance, I think this is really underappreciated. The show Everybody Loves Raymond.
Good point. Good
Okay.
point. Interesting factoid. That is Ali's number one sitcom of all time.
Oh, really?
/ number one show.
No way.
So he definitely doesn't underappreciate that, thinking that that is the best television ever produced.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, always spot on because I think it's much better than people give it credit for. Do you think everyone just fell into this everyone hates Raymond thing? Because the show is so positive about him.
Presumptuous.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't
love
even
it.
watched it yet.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are, Ray.
Like it was
I
popular,
love you.
but it's no Friends, right? No one does Raymond like they do
No.
Friends, and I think Raymond's pretty bloody good. But yeah, that's my one. What do you reckon?
Okay, 2 points. It's a good point, but I already appreciated Raymond, so just the fact that you reminded it made me smile in my head. So I'm going to
Okay.
give you a very low score for that, Robbie.
Ridiculous.
I'm going to say plums.
Plums.
Yeah.
Does that mean 0? What?
Are you... What?
You're going to give me 0.
What's my points?
A
Oh, you're
perfect
saying
0.
plums? No, he's saying plums is his thing that's underappreciated.
I'm giving you plums. I'm giving you a big set of plums. You...
Are you giving me plums, or is that your underappreciated?
5
thing?
points.
Okay.
Couple of plums there
Why
for
does
you.
it... So a plum is 2.5 points. Is that how the scoring system works from now on?
And we should have known that.
I was just confused. I thought it was my turn.
Okay, plums is 2.5 points from now on. Mangoes is 10, and that's the only two scoring system. We've got a scoring system now. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And mangoes is obviously 10 out of 10 because it's king of the fruits.
All right, but you said plums is your point thing now, so you have to come up with a new one.
So plums are underappreciated.
Oh, God.
And you're right. It's a stone fruit that doesn't get its dues.
True. I'd eat a plum.
People don't eat them. You know, that people forget about them.
Yeah, I'll give you a mango for the plum.
That's 10 points.
10 points.
Oh, that's cool. Cheers,
That's
mate.
5 times as many points as I got.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice work. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Oh.
truly pathetic. They missed each other's hand twice.
Oopsie.
Okay.
Jordan.
Melissa Doyle, former co-host of Sunrise.
Robbie, what do you reckon on that?
I don't know who that is. But let me just...
And how is she either she has to be underappreciated at the very least if you don't know who she is.
Yeah, I guess
Because
so.
she just looks like she'd be a great mum, always making, but not an outstanding mother in that she wouldn't give her kids great food. She'd just give them really Aussie food, really Aussie love mum. And what more can you ask for, right? So she'd always just be like, okay, kids, come over and get your Pop Tops for lunch, get your Vegemite sandwiches on Wonder White, no crust, and that shows that she loves her kids. She just doesn't know what to feed them.
Yeah, so Melissa Doyle, not an outstanding mother.
Not an outstanding mother. But you've got to add to the quote, but great.
All right,
What do you reckon about that one?
Well, I don't really know her that well. I don't keep up to date with morning show Australian TV hosts.
Oh, Tom, you should.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I follow
It's
me
a
behind.
plethora of fun.
Yeah, like there's a few. Yeah, like obviously the Stefanovics and those kind of.
Right.
But actually, as well as that, I know that I've already said Melissa Doyle, and the fact that she got fired from Sunrise was a true mistake, because putting Samantha Armitage, or whatever her name is, was just such a poor alternative. This country hick version of an Aussie mum. Get off,
to
Sam.
date. It's so up to date with like
I know.
popular
I know.
Australian television.
Yeah, and I never watched it. I don't know how this is.
Yeah, how do you know
I think it's because every time I go up to my family's house for Christmas, they've always got TV Week lying on the
Right,
coffee
yeah. So
table.
you'll read it all, yeah.
And there's just too many. There's too many things on it that are just a kind of like a Beck and Leighton Hewitt divorced. It's just enough for you to be like, all right, I'll read that.
Do people still care about Leighton Hewitt?
Yeah. I
Really?
do not
No
know
way.
why that is, but if you go to your local supermarket soap magazines,
He's still a.
she'll
gossip
definitely be
column.
on it all the time. Now that is a great mum, not an outstanding mum.
All right, what's the next segment?
Okay. This is
Nobody won that. We can't
Oh,
bother to
okay.
score even Jordan's last point. We're just moving on.
Yeah, I'm moving well away from that.
everyone gets a couple of
I think
plums
that was a
and a
little
mango.
bit too controversial. Let's just steer the conversation away while we've still got our dignity intact.
All right, moving on to the next segment called
Why are you sniffing?
because I can smell like a hot glue gun or something.
All right, just what's the next segment?
No one cares.
All right. All right, this one's called Apocalypse How?
Let's talk about underappreciated bands.
yeah. All right.
Yep.
So Apocalypse How does it work?
So this is basically some old woman, blind woman that died some years ago, had some predictions about things such as 9/11, the rise of evil forces in the world, and they've all come to be true.
And Obama.
And she's predicted some things in 2016, which I don't think I was going to like that much.
This is like a BuzzFeed article that came out about a Bulgarian blind woman who's the modern day Nostradamus.
So she's had a bunch of predictions.
And she's dead now?
She's been dead for like 20 years, I think.
How would she know she's dead? Wouldn't you just see black wood like you would when you're blind?
Yeah, how would she know? That's awful.
I wonder if she's...
How would you know you're dead
if you're blind, you can't see today. Anyway, yeah, she...
Imagine if we were truly stupid enough, as in actually had the intellect
to think that...
to really like philosophize on that.
Yeah, no, but seriously.
Oh dear.
I went to a restaurant last night. I can guarantee you the waitress definitely, if you asked her that, would be like, huh, that's a really good point.
Anyway, she said about Europe that it would be a wasteland. Europe will become a wasteland, and this year, and the current president, there will be no more presidents in America. That was her other prediction.
So the last one would be black, and then the world would go to shit.
Just sounds like a racist.
Sounds like an she's definitely
Her
Eastern
other one,
European.
yeah,
for sure.
that Muslims would destroy Europe.
That's what she said.
Yeah, this prophet.
Nostradamus lady, and she said it would, Europe would become a wasteland almost entirely devoid of any form of life.
Besides the caliphate of a billion Muslims.
Potentially not, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
it
said
could
they'd
be a
use
wasteland.
chemical warfare on Europe. She predicted the 2004 tsunami, but not predicting the year. She just said a big wave would destroy land, coastal areas.
And guess what? It did. So.
It's not that hard to predict that. She predicted 9/11 by saying that there would be a bird would run into two great steel.
Yeah, whatever it was. But I can tell you where I'm not going this year.
Was that how she said it, or was that how Nostradamus said it?
I think that's how she said it. She could just be copying Nostradamus. But Nostradamus is like heavily discredited, so I think it's funny to hear like someone being like named a modern day Nostradamus after realization that Nostradamus was kind of like talking a lot of crap. So like, anyway, yeah,
heavily discredited in your world, Tom.
In my world, yeah, but in your world, maybe not. What does Deepak reckon of Nostradamus?
Maybe, or definitely. Yeah. I'm going to say maybe. I've never really thought about Nostradamus much.
I just listened to like a thing on him, but yeah, I don't know. It's the same kind of thing where someone will come up with a really long kind of vague poetry, and then you can kind of like post the event happening. You can say, oh yeah, actually if I construe it this way, it works.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing actually. I've just had the realization that Tom has founded all of his opinions in life from podcasts that start with that really wussy music that go, you're listening to Thinking Lunch.
Yeah.
And it seems like I've formed all of my opinions in life from a palm reader that works at Tree of Life.
You go in every week and they're just a staff member, but you think they have some kind of greater knowledge of the world.
And Robbie's too nervous to form opinions, full stop.
Yeah, the Anderson Cooper we were saying before.
Yes. The Anderson Cooper of opinions.
No, I'm just too boss.
But it'll be really cool to see
that
this.
because
let's remember this woman, right? If by the end of this year, if there is not another president next year, and if there isn't, if Europe still exists next year, can we please bring this up again and relook at her? And then, like, because I remember we were talking heaps about when those gun shooting threats were happening on Reddit about the schools, right, at the unis, and we were really worried, and we were saying, like, Robbie, it's so stupid to be worried, and you're saying, like, no, it's fine. Like, nothing ever happened, right? But we never bring that up again. Like, we'll never say, like, do you remember how we were really worried about those uni shootings? Everyone just forgets about it, and then it's forgotten as, like, no, it actually didn't happen. It's just nothing. No one thinks about it.
Nah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to remember it. I'll bring it up.
Do a Facebook status about it.
No. I'm not about that, man.
Okay. Anyway,
why aren't you about that?
Well, you're
always the person that.
What was your
every
last
time
status?
you ever get fraped on Facebook, I don't mind if I get fraped on Facebook. I'll keep it there until somebody says, seriously, it's embarrassing, take it down. But you're always going to call up the person that you think fraped you and just be like, g'day, mate, it's Tom Montefiore here.
That happened once with Alicia, and that's it. But yeah, no.
Because she's the only person that ever fraped you, and you did ring her up and formally asked her, requested, if you will, to unfrape you.
It's because I was driving, and it would take me hours
image
to get
conscious.
I'm not image conscious.
oh my God, that
I've never seen that from Tom
face.
before.
Yeah.
God, it was that shocked face that your mum does when you swear at her for the first time. She just, her mouth drops.
Yeah.
It's just funny if like someone has a very like little amount of like online presence that they then get labeled with very conscious of their image. Like I don't have an image on social media, so why am I really conscious of it? If I'm uploading photos every day and always posting statuses, wouldn't that mean that I'm more image conscious?
It's just another version of that.
Just
because
not
you
to.
want there to be you basically want to be almost off the grid, but you're too lazy to move to the Amazon.
No,
so you just settle for not doing any posts on Facebook, not really uploading any photos. Getting tagged in things is fine for you, but if anybody just writes, my name's Tom and I'm a dickhead, you better go, hang on, I didn't say dickhead.
Well, yeah, like, I don't know. I just feel it's that whole social media is dead thingy, like, but I don't buy into that. You know, the whole social media is a lie, like, don't believe it. Really, I just don't see the point in putting the status up there. What's the point? Who cares? I guess you could say the same thing about this, like, who cares about what we're saying, but, like, it's just it just feels, I can't be bothered to interrupt 700, 800 people's lives with some status about anything, you know?
Wow, really, really mature perspective on Facebook. Having said that, if you want us to talk about this at the end of 2016, you have to put that up as a Facebook post.
Okay,
Otherwise, we're not doing it.
All right.
You doing it?
I'll do it.
He's doing it! That's the end of the pod! Shut the pod down!
Okay. What an ending.
All right, what's the next segment?
Wait, should we? Oh, because what we want to do is we want to practice for the radio, right? This.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, I know. We've got the whole reason we're doing this.
This is really that tech run that you do in primary school when the teacher comes up afterwards and say, "That what are you going to be proud for your parents to see that?"
Well, this was meant to be the test run for the radio, but we didn't
Exactly. This is our
achieve that.
tech run.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So this is
We messed the tech run up, though. Anyway.
Yeah.
That always happens. That's what I'm saying. And then when we go on there, we truly shine. You know?
So, for people that don't know, we're going to be starting a live radio show in about a week or two at FBI Radio on the 18th. So, from 12 to 1. So, tune in. You can get it online. We'll post a thing about it, maybe. But yeah, so today we were going to do the whole podcast. We're still going to be doing podcasts, by the way, so don't worry. Like, it's an hour-long show, but we'll also be doing our podcast on top of that. So, but we were going to do a test run and just like as though we're on the radio.
Maybe we'll do a podcast on top.
We'll see how it
if
goes.
you're good. And by good, that means that you have to post up, as is in traditional Friendlyjordies podcast tradition, you have to put up, if you're bad, you have to put up a grumpy kid that's got his arms folded going, ugh. And if you're good, you have to put up that picture of that celebrity that has a pet sloth. That minor D-grade American celebrity that the most famous thing of her is her crying on Ellen that she got a pet sloth.
Who's that?
I have no idea. That's for you to
That's your
find out.
task. Yeah.
Oh no!
Do you
Yeah,
accept it?
that girl from
Her name's not important.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, blonde girl.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know her name.
It is the decisive whip.
So what's the actual segment though that
Anyway,
we've got
so
here?
what-
We didn't do it. We'll do it next week.
Well, no, I mean, like we'll just show you now how good we are at radio, I guess. So,
All right, yeah.
here we are. We got a little track from Tame Impala, the best band in the world.
we're coming in from a song. So imagine you've just been listening to the radio, driving the car.
Yeah.
The song's just finishing. All
We've
right.
just finished off with a great topper joke. We're all laughing.
Everyone's laughing it. You're laughing in the car. You're laughing yourself. You're whacking the wheel.
And so professional that all the intro music, we've just been talking about that. The joke hits. We're all laughing. Second later, the lyrics come in.
Yeah.
That's what's happened.
Okay, and then the song plays and the lyrics are playing out now.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the
Not welcome.
Oh,
welcome back. To, I
welcome
guess.
back, guys. I hope you've had a good afternoon.
Play it again.
Okay. We'll do that one more time. All right.
Not sorry about this, folks.
It's a tech run, you know. All right, go.
Welcome back to the Friendlyjordies podcast on
No, not a
FBI
podcast.
Radio.
He's done it. He's done it, I think, because that is truly what FBI loves. Not talking over the top of the end of the track when there's no when it's just instrumental and then fading it. They don't like that. They like it just abruptly stopping and then the person very nervously breathing into the microphone going, "Hey guys, welcome back."
We should bring commercial to community and try and zhuzh up the quality a bit with that. Like,
Yeah, okay.
All right, so try it
Definitely,
again.
and very confidently coming in, going 95.5 FBI on your dial. It's Robbie, Jordan, and Tom for the drive. There should be more of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So try like now talking with it fading out, and then also remember we're not a podcast, so we're the Friendlyjordies show or something like that. Instead of saying Friendlyjordies podcast on FBI, because it's all right.
Okay.
Once again.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That was Tame Impala with The Less I Know The Better. You've got to tune to FBI Radio. Your boy Robbie here with Jordan and Tom. A cool son.
He is so... He's loading
He's
very
ready.
fast. Okay, he's better than FBI. He's not Today FM standards, but he's Triple J standards for sure. That is really Triple J, I reckon, for them to talk over the track, stop it abruptly, doesn't fade out, and there's no effects going in, no tag or anything like that, and then like another piece of music starts for a second, they quickly stop it, pretend that didn't happen, keep rolling.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll get there. It's
All right.
okay. But
That's
yeah,
what tech runs are for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have another segment?
we've got some more stuff here if you want.
Just say it. Go on.
This one is called.
What's happening
Now,
No.
this,
Look,
the quality in this podcast goes up to down so fast, doesn't
I
it?
know.
So we've just gone from FBI quality to Triple J quality, and now we've gone way, way down to whatever that one is in St Leonard's that there's only ever seems to be old people that are on it. And you always hear shuffling of papers.
Yeah.
And they're not nervous. They're not nervous. They just don't care. They don't have the expertise, and they never will get it. You know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
It's like East Side Radio, like 30
Kind
seconds of
just
dead air.
Watch the.
Are we
Then
gonna
you hear that.
talk?
Watch the next segment.
Yeah. Reading the newspaper. I love that one.
Yeah.
It has
Anyway.
a purpose. All right.
Okay, let's pepper back up. So we've got now your favourite one. Okay, we've got Taboo Tightrope. Ms. Gale marches on Washington.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
Excellent music, Robbie.
All right. Listen to that snare.
Couldn't have picked a perfect.
There you go.
Brilliant.
He's getting good. It's just taken 50 weeks.
And now we're back up to.
He's out.
He's left the room.
Yeah, so Taboo Tightrope. This has been massive in the news this week. It's something which happens almost every week in just a different form. Where what's happened is Chris Gale, West Indian cricketer, has been interviewed by a female commentator, has asked her out on air and kind of embarrassed her, called her baby by saying,
Don't blush, baby.
"Don't blush, baby." Yeah, and then she was like, "I'm not blushing," and then the media storm begins.
And Friendlyjordies' official response to that media storm is, "Shut up."
Yeah,
Everyone
that's it.
agrees with that in a nutshell. Shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah, but also he is a bad man.
we need to say that.
But we should also say that he's also a good cricketer. And, you know, people need to remember these things about him in the media.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where you can't really be on either side of it without sounding like an idiot, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you're on one side of it, it's just like, shut up. And the other side is, stop it, shut up. Like, both of them are equally
I
bad.
just want to get on with my job. I just want to, you know, did you see her
Yeah.
be interviewed on the...
Oh, right. Was she,
Yeah, she was interviewed.
was she telling everyone to shut up, basically?
Well, no. People just asked, like, people want a story about it, right? And so she was being asked about it, and she's like, you know, it was just sort of like a little blip on the radar, but like, I just want to get back to work, just want to get back on the job, and then I think she's not really
Interesting
affected by it,
commentary.
yeah,
That
thanks.
sucks. That's the worst. There's no opinion there at all. She doesn't have a take on it.
No, it didn't seem that way.
No. But I guess we don't really have a take on it here either. Really.
Yeah, we do. We have a godlike perspective on it.
Shut up.
Where we
But yeah.
If I could smite, I would definitely smite for this.
all members involved.
Anyone, yeah. Everyone gets smushed.
Yeah. Because it's yeah. I read too many dumb articles. Very infuriating.
And statuses, and just the whole net has just gone ablaze with this.
If you just admit it, if you're somebody out there that has an opinion on this, you suck. Don't you think? As a human being, you're defective, you're dysfunctional. No one gives a shit about what you think because you think about the smallest shit ever.
Yeah. So here's our angle on it. Next time you see a story on that, stop looking at that story and start reading a book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Because there are bigger things going on in this world and you need to know about them. And I'm going to tell you why.
I love that we've just got one opinion about everything.
Yeah, there are bigger things. Climate change.
Is this climate change? Is this climate change? No. Shut up.
But yeah, reverse sexism is as annoying as sexism. It's just let's not get
It's
into
just a
it.
crap debate.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just feel we had to So this is Confessions of an Economic Hitman. It's about global empire building and from the US or something. I haven't read it. Tom's read it.
Yeah, and Jordan's read a book by the same author, very similar book.
With a much cooler title. Actually, Robbie, quickly, rate them.
Yeah.
Out of 10. What do you reckon of these two titles?
Confessions.
Who read a better book? Judge a book by its cover. Go.
Yeah.
Here it is. Tom, what's yours?
Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how that was like I was hoping that he was going to have a really good sound effect for that. Didn't.
Okay.
But mine, a game as old as Empire.
I'm going to say
Jordan's.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool. Awesome. Anyway,
That is a
Tom,
better
continue
title.
with the lesser title.
All right, so basically, it's a very interesting book, and I recommend it to everyone. It's hard to judge a book by the author. You don't really know if you can trust the author or not. I trust him. I don't know why. I haven't looked into it.
I trust him because he's in documentaries with Naomi Klein and Noam Chomsky, and they're the gold standards of opinion.
Yeah. So I feel as though if you're in a documentary with Noam Chomsky, you're pretty highly regarded. So this guy, it's basically his life story of what he did for a career and what he calls himself and what kind of his profession was referred to for people in the know was as an economic hitman. So his job essentially was to act as a economist for a large corporate firm, but also kind of be basically told to fudge economic reports in certain countries to then make it more feasible for America to go in and invest lots of money into a country, which would then put the country into a heap of debt, and then the debt would then force the country to be under the kind of arm of America, and then kind of through financial economic means, America is slowly kind of messing with everyone else.
And because any economic idea needs to be simplified apparently in Australia down to your household budget.
Yeah, that would be a good way of looking
The
at
best
it.
way is, to think about it as, all right, so you get a mortgage, right? Then what? Your bank owes your house, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're basically an employee for the bank, and you're giving them your money. This is happening on a world scale.
Yeah, so there's heaps of examples.
There you go. To any Liberal voter out there that's always going, you got to fix the budget. Now you up to speed?
Yeah. So an example would be that a country in Latin America, say like Nicaragua or Ecuador, say Ecuador is an example that did happen. Really poor, third world, doesn't have much money, but there's a lot of natural resources that America would be interested in having. They'll say, hey, Ecuador, do you want to have like $20 billion and we'll come in and we'll build you a whole road system and or we'll build you an electric grid so all your houses can have electricity. And they'll be like, yeah, that sounds awesome, but we don't have enough money to buy, like if we take your $20 billion, like can we just have that? And they're like, oh, no, like you pay us interest, like, and they go, oh, okay, well, we'll do that then and we'll pay you back interest. And the reason they're able to do it is people like Economic Hitman will go in and make these kind of reports and make it seem as though it's a much more reasonable investment than it really is. And then they'll take this money, have this huge thing, but they'll never be able to pay them back. So then later on, American can call on them and say, hey, you know how you owe us like $20 billion still? How about you give us that copper mine, or like how about you give us this and then we'll call it square, and then suddenly American corporates and will have a lot of money and they'll kind of control that country's resources.
Essentially controlling the government and its people. And also, did he talk about how and I think the worst James Bond film in the past decade pretty much copied it word for word, but he, evil guy, but boss. in certain situations, he would walk into a country, and I don't know if he was mentioning this in that book, but he would say to the dictator, when they'd just be going, no, we don't want your imperial scum money, get out. And then he'd say, okay, fine, I'll leave. But if I leave, you're going to be sitting at home one day. You're going to go to bed. It's going to be like any other night. But then you'll feel a nice silencer and a pillow go over your face. And then pop, you're gone. And we'll replace you with a guy that does play ball.
Yeah.
Now here's your choice. You could either become an extremely wealthy man. You and your family will be treated like absolute royalty. or you can get the silencer treatment.
Yeah. How crazy is that? Those conversations happen.
Yeah, it's very scary.
And it did happen. So Panama is a good example.
Yeah.
Where, all right, this is insane. So in Panama, there was a similar scenario, a really kind of world-renowned leader. Like, everyone was loving this leader. He did a great job with Panama. He has the Panama Canal, and he fought really hard to get the Panama Canal to be owned by Panama instead of, like, the US. So which makes sense, right? The Panama to own their own canal. So he gets his own canal. And then Japan is a country that's doing a lot of business through the canal. So they're going to build a second canal. But America doesn't like that because it means a lot of money, like, you know, businesses that could be building this canal are going to be Japanese hired businesses. And, you know, American corporates basically run the government, and they want to make all the money from building this canal. And yeah, so there's kind of, like, you know, political problems, and they don't like the guy that's in charge of Panama. So they go and say, like, you know, hey, can we do this? You know, and he doesn't want to play ball with America. So then he literally was assassinated, the leader of the country. Like, he was, like, mysteriously killed. So that's how he kind of says it in these kind of ranks of, first the EHM, so the economic hitmen will go in and they'll try and basically bribe the leader and say, like, we'll make you incredibly wealthy if you just play ball with us. You'll do awesome. Your country ultimately won't do well at all, but you'll be incredibly rich and we'll be happy. All as well. If they don't want to do that, they then send in what he calls the jackals, which are CIA hitmen, which the CIA will either create or fund rebel groups. For instance, like in Nicaragua, like the Contras were, like, CIA backed, and like the Taliban, for instance, was, like, CIA backed. These are kind of like rebel groups that the CIA will prop up and weaponize to then try and overthrow leaders, so then they can then instill their own leader that will play ball, like someone. So they'll get rid of a good leader and put in, like, a terrible dictator that will do business with them. So, like, and then if the jackals don't,
and they prefer brutal dictators as well, because brutal dictators suppress the population. There's no problems in distribution of goods.
Yeah, it's insane. So, like, and then if the jackals don't work, so like a silent assassination or some kind of, like, civil unrest, that's when they'll then go in and have a war. So that's what he argues is, like, basically Iraq with Saddam Hussein. It was, you know, Saddam Hussein wasn't playing ball at all, and it was this kind of, there was no choice but to try and, like, invade Iraq.
It really does also give you a lot of perspective in the argument that Noam Chomsky always brings forth when he's talking about when Bill Clinton was in power, and he was saying that, I mean, I support Bill Clinton, obviously, but that's just because the other options are so unbelievably bad.
Yeah. Chomsky talks about all this stuff.
He talks about it all, he discusses it, but this economic hitman dude talks about it all. Anyone who's enlightened is not your Alex Jones character, says that everything was okay, and then along came Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan was, like, the worst.
Things became awful. And then and then you thought, okay, I can't get any worse than this. And then George Bush Senior comes in, and it gets worse. And then Clinton comes in, things just kind of mellow out, and it's fine for 8 years. And then George W. Bush comes in, and it gets even worse.
Yeah.
So essentially, they're all saying tacitly, man, the same argument that I'm always having here on Facebook. No, it's not even a lesser of two evils thing. It's just one side of politics is truly evil, and the other side tries to keep evil at bay. It's not this bullshit theory that everyone has of just, they're both bad as each other. Actually, one's slightly better. Yeah. No, one is way better than the other one. Get it through your head. It is a really bad idea to have a conservative government in power.
But yeah, like, it's quite real, like, and violent, like how so, like, for the Panama incidents, they killed the leader of Panama, like, mysteriously, like, it's not official, but all the media around the world is reporting it as a CIA assassination, besides in the US. And then they instill a new dictator that comes in, like a new leader. He won't play ball as well, so they kind of mess up, and they're like, oh, well, what do we do? And so I think they either try and kill him, but anyway, in the end, they end up bombing Panama, the US. But no, I never knew that the US bombed Panama. But, like, the same day,
invaded, didn't just bomb.
They came
boots on the ground.
So, like, on the same day they invaded Panama, which was seen as, like, a massive international crime, they also condemned Saddam Hussein for entering Turkey or some country like that as being
Kuwait, I think it was.
Kuwait, yeah, as being just a, you know, atrocious, and that's why we need to go into Iraq for the Gulf War and do this. The same day they're doing the same thing.
Wow. I mean, how does Barack fare in that list of presidencies?
Well, again, everybody always says, as always, it's just way better to have a Democrat in the White House. Everybody criticizes him a lot for his drone program, but yes, okay, that kills a lot of civilians. Obviously, I mean, you can't. However, yeah. The alternative to that is the Republicans' preferred method, which is an all-out invasion, which is so much more disruptive than droning. I mean, this is the point, right, that it doesn't matter who's in power. There's very obvious evil forces at play, and in this one, it's usually the industrial military complex. Sometimes it's oil, but one of them is telling the president, do this, and then they just show JFK getting shot, you know? and so, yeah, it's better to have a moderating force in there saying that, okay, well, surely drone strikes suffices your bloodlust enough. You don't need to invade the country. Is that fine? And then they'll be, yeah, all right, as long as you're bombing someone. Right? So, yeah, in regards to that, Barack Obama has been an extremely stabilising moderate force in the world. In comparison to George Bush and George H.W. Bush and Reagan, who collectively have invaded, I think since... I can't remember exactly what the numbers were. I'm going to have to look this back. But I know that America has invaded 70 countries since World War II. Wow. And 65 or 60 of them, something along those lines, have been under Republican presidents. Republicans are clearly way, way worse than Democrat presidents.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Like, you just don't think of it. But, yeah. It's interesting, though. I was saying to you before the pod just how it seems as though just economics are just kind of... is such a massive player in how the world functions. And I just have no idea about economics. Like, I don't know if any of us are that clued in on, like, economic ideas. No. For instance, the thing Jordan and me were talking about the other day is how the World Bank is basically run by the US, and the World Bank is the one that will, like, lend money to countries. And then, yeah, I have no idea. But it's like, that's really important to know, though, right? For this to all work in this theory. If, like, America's, say, lending money to another country and America's in a heap of debt themselves, how do they then... are they able to lend money to another country if they don't have any money to lend? And it's like they can just print money, and it's like, why can they print money? Just all these things. I just have no idea. It is a true problem with documentaries that they make it as simple as possible, and you do understand it while they're explaining, but you forget instantly afterwards. There's always that moment where they just have a bunch of animated things of, I don't know, say a few cartoon banks and a few lines with dollar bills going into the bank and then out into, I don't know, the World Bank or something like that, and they go like, it's very simple, let's break this down, and then they show the trace of the money, and then afterwards, like, bastards. Yeah. But then, 2 weeks later, you're like, oh, I don't know, something about the World Bank. Yeah. It's just so complex. It feels like it's just, meaninglessly, it's like complex so you don't understand it, and then it's just like you won't think about it. But yeah, you should read the book though, because he does understand it, and he did that. It sounds very interesting, yeah. But anyway, so that's what you should be looking at instead of Chris Gale with a woman. And the first person to not explain it to us, just put a picture of Alex Jones yelling in the comments, wins a free shout out on air in our first ever episode that's got to be live on FBI. We'll just say your name and we'll literally shout it out until the managers come in during the song and go, really good segment, guys, can you just not yell into the mic? All right. Next segment we've got Hate It or Love It, Tom, the Toms on Top. Yeah. So what you want? Yeah, so if you just imagine, both Robbie and I wanted to play that song, if you just imagine if you change the word dog to Tom, that's why we called it Hate It or Love It, Tom, the Toms on Top. So this is an idea that Jordan has had in regards to what Monty should be caring about in his life. Here it is. Yeah, I'm fairly disappointed in you, Tom, because I've known you for years now. Yep. I know you as a person. Yep. Sure. I feel like I'm your secondary mum. Sometimes when I look down and see that I've got a penis, I go, no, but I gave birth to Tom. I know it. Yeah, one of these things isn't true.
I'm still erring on the side that I'm almost convinced that I'm your mum, Tom. I know you well.
Okay.
I've never ever heard you discuss this occupation, and I thought that you would love it, and you should be giving it nothing but positive press about this. Always saying, no, we should be talking about how great this job is, guys, on the Friendlyjordies podcast. It should be the first, second, and third segment every single time. You should just be talking about this one thing.
Firstly, I feel like it's unfair for me to be in trouble about something that I never speak about, because I can't speak about everything.
Fair point. Nonetheless, I'm still extremely disappointed at you, Tom.
All right, what's the job?
Okay, so what I was thinking about while I was in Tasmania is that what has to be one of the greatest jobs in history? Being the explorer, the captain of a ship that's exploring. Every male on the planet goes genocide's terrible. Still, Captain Cook had a pretty boss job.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest, right?
Original astronaut.
Exactly. But the job that you should be propagating all the time as obviously number one is the scientist that they just pay to come along, and then he just captures a bunch of lizards and looks at a couple of flowers, and I'm pretty sure the only reason why he's taken along is purely to walk on land and go and pick up a flower and go, remarkable.
Did you watch Master and Commander?
I know, yeah. Did you?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You watched Paul Bettany in Master and Commander walking across the island while they went around the other way. Yeah, of course, that job's sick.
Why don't you ever talk about it?
Is he Darwin? Is he playing
my
Darwin?
God.
I think so.
Oh,
Why don't you ever talk about it?
Yeah, I reckon it's a cool job. Yeah, because it's not a job anymore, is it?
Why are you pining for it? Why don't you ever take off your headphones and yell into the microphone saying, this is the only reason why I'm here. I was born in the wrong age.
Yeah. Oh no!
Instead of I wish I was a punk rock girl with flowers in my hair, I wish I was a botanist with flowers in my hair that I don't yet know what they're called, but I'm gonna damn identify them. I'll figure out the theory of evolution.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool job.
pioneering scientist, basically.
It's got to be, okay, so what I'm wondering is, do I know you this well as your mum? Do you think that being the captain is better with all the glory of it? And probably, most of the time, it seems like the first mate is the one that comes to the scientist. He doesn't even do it most of the time. It seems to be the first mate that goes, look, there's a hopping dog, there he is. And then he goes, remarkable.
Yeah. I don't know if I found anything, but this little butterfly thing.
Yeah.
That happens in Master and Commander as well, doesn't it?
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, I feel like now the modern day version of that is like the dude driving the Mars rover around and finding the rock and being like, oh my god, water. Like that kind of thing. Is the same idea, right?
Yeah, but that's not as cool as finding a big tortoise.
No, it's not. Yeah. Well, just
If you did find a big tortoise on Mars, though, I don't know what's cooler at that point. You'd have to say that, yeah, it's on another planet, and what the hell is it eating?
There almost is that, though. You know, that, like the live encounter with the giant squid? That is where they're all the scientists are in that submersible vehicle, and the guy points at the oxygen levels and says, the oxygen levels are really low because everyone's breathing a lot right now because they're so excited. And then everyone, you can imagine everyone just being like, oh, remarkable. Like watching this giant squid at work. So yeah, that's a pretty cool job.
Whispering doesn't seem to have the same effort, though.
Yeah, I guess
it's much better to have the real breathe in and out. But that's part of the job description. You would definitely have to go in there. It would be the 1900s version of Australian Idol. All these shit cutbacks of just this Asian guy in spandex being like, remarkable. Oh, shit house, get out.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Truly remarkable.
So, Tom, do you love it?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's
Okay.
awesome.
Robbie hit it. It's the end of the Friendlyjordies podcast, first episode of 2016.
No.
It is still... sorry, no, we still have that, but I've just got to reiterate at this point. We may as well bring this up. It's still season 3, folks, even though we were away for 2 weeks straight. Normally, you would put out a 4th season, but no, we're keeping it.
Maybe next week the new season can start, but yeah, that's the finale of season 3.
3.1 at best.
Yeah. All right, what do you want to do now?
So this is the final segment.
Yeah.
It's called Free Beer. Got your attention? Help us name our show.
The worst segment title
'Cause
ever.
Look, all three of us, myself especially, are extremely humble people, and we're always. But one thing that we will give ourselves is that we are the best people in the biz at naming our segments.
Give us someone
we
who
gave
knows
ourselves
better
the award back to back. Best naming of segments 2 years in a row champions. We're number one, undefeated.
We are the best.
No doubt.
So that's why we gave it the worst title ever, which is to start. And let's just get this out for everybody. Do not ever start any poster with "sex got your attention" or "free beer."
Yeah. It's been done too many times. Let it go.
Yeah. So we're just
So
like,
we've started it with that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we can do it because it's us.
Look, we're doing it, and we're back to back number one winners.
Yeah.
Look, you can't beat us at this.
Yeah.
back to back. So should we tell them our ideas?
All right, so we're basically trying to name we need to provide FBI with the name of our show for next week, sorry.
Yeah.
So we need your help in deciding what the name will be. We're democratic show. Whatever you guys want, we'll do it. It's out of our hands. But
Okay.
here are the options that we're willing to do.
Okay. Evenings with Rawdon, Jom and Toby do lunch. Is that one?
That's right. That was
is
one of them.
correct.
So essentially what happened is, in classic Friendlyjordies podcast style, we started with lunch with Jordan, Robbie and Tom, and then we thought, no, that's just not... It's not stupid enough. So then we went with evenings with Jordan, Robbie and Tom, and we're going, getting there.
'Cause it's at lunch.
Yeah, because it's at lunch. So we added the fact that it is lunch, and then we just changed the first letter of each names and jumbled them up. And that's the result. So
Remember,
vote
we're
for that
the
if you want
best
it.
at titles, so go with us.
So if you want that, put up Heisenberg from Breaking Bad.
Oh, God.
He's back.
Bloody comment. All right. And the other one is Tom, Monty, Doo and the Crocodile Crew.
My personal favourite.
It's sheer brilliance, that
And
one.
if you want that, you got to put up the Chomp crocodile that used to be the mascot of that chocolate bar that for some reason is still hanging in there. Every time you go to an urban ghetto-like suburb, they'll definitely have Chomp out the front. It'll be very dusty, but they'll be like, yes, we've got it, and it's $1. It's always $1. So put up the Chomp mascot if you want that.
So that's Tom, Monty, Doo and the Crocodile Crew.
and
Community radio
should we give them some more, or should we just...
That was the last one, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Let's respectfully discuss Christianity with Tom Montefiore.
God, don't.
And that's my personal favourite. I really think that you should make us because FBI would hate that, and Tom would hate that even more. You've made a lot of people very unhappy by choosing that.
And if you want that, put Hugh Laurie from Stuart Little as your photo.
Oh, God. Why are you clinging to that character?
Why do you love him so much?
Underappreciated. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Oh, what are we mocking?
Okay, yeah, so
ourselves now?
at the end, God, it's just a self-feeding, carnivorous beast, this podcast.
I know, yeah.
We've got no one left to hate.
No, it's
Now just
ourselves.
hating the damn show.
So if you like
Tom's
that show,
the
go
winner.
to patreon.com and remember.
Yeah, remember to subscribe to us on Patreon, and you'll be able to hear me whip my penis out from the Christmas editions.
And get amongst the comments.
The twist is really up there with whoever the director was of The Sixth Sense. It was mind-blowing.
Yeah, who was
It was
that?
such an amazing spur
M.
of
Night
the moment. Robbie is just really telling us to shut up and get out of here.
All right, they're giving us a look out there. So let's wrap it up.
Bye, guys.
Right,
Guys.
See ya.
Don't forget to donate.
So that was the Friendlyjordies podcast, the final episode.
Imagine that. Okay, that was episode 43 of the Friendlyjordies podcast. It's goodbye from me, Robbie.
It's goodbye from me, Tom, forever.
And goodbye from Rawdon. That's right. Get out there and vote on Facebook with whatever we decided was the big show for that.
Bye.